Family, so if you guys are wondering why I'm a little bit behind on this video, it took a little bit longer than a week to post, it is because your boy just got a new toy. I'm finna show y'all. Come follow me. But fam, it is nice to like get something after all the hard work I've been putting in, you know what I'm saying? I was blessed enough to be able to save some money. I put about half down on that car, so I put 10,000 down on that car. It was about 23,000. So a little, almost half I put down on the car, so my payments are nice. I'm hoping to pay it off really soon. But it just serves as a little encouragement. If you guys want something in life, fam, grind for that, you know what I'm saying? But without further ado, let's get into this tutorial. So we are going to start off this haircut by trimming the top, just so we're blending into an already kind of finished look. So I'm going to start by dampening the hair, not getting it like too wet to the point where it's all over the client's face, but you want to get the hair pretty damp. And we're going to split the hair into 3 sections, one on the right side of the head, one in the middle of the head, and one on the left side of the head. So you'll see that's what I'm doing right here, trying to make even and like, you know, clean sections. You don't want it to be choppy and looking zigzaggy. You want it to be as straight as possible. So grabbing this middle section, we're going to go ahead and take off, I would say a little less than ½ an inch. This is just a slight trim. So anything sticking above my fingers, I'm going to go ahead and cut that. And I do cut past my knuckles sometimes. I know we're not supposed to, so I'm going to advise you not to cut past your knuckles, just so you don't cut your hand. But I'm going to go ahead and follow that all the way back. And this is going to serve as our guideline to what we're going to trim the rest of the hair to. So after we go ahead and trim the middle section, we're going to go ahead and comb that to the right, and we're going to do horizontal sections. And now, since we cut the middle, we're going to see the length difference between the middle of that section and the end of that section, and we're just going to cut all of it even. So you'll see when I grab this section where I trimmed it in the middle, and we're gonna go ahead and connect the right side of his head to that, and we're just doing that all the way to the front of the head. This is a very easy, simple way to get a nice even trim. So after we're done cutting the right side of the head, we're gonna go ahead and take a section of that and pull that over to the left side of his head, and then we're gonna use that as our guideline for the left side. So I went ahead and combed that over, and then again I'm going to take horizontal sections, and then you'll see the middle is shorter than the hairs towards the inside of my finger. So I'm going to go ahead and even that out, and I'm just going to continue to just try to make clean sections, just so it's a lot you know, simpler when we're trimming. And if you don't see a length difference, don't cut it. You only want to cut if you see that the hair is not even. So you'll see me just move towards the front of the head. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and pull that fringe area up. Since we are sticking the hair up a little, I want to make sure, you know, that it's gonna sit nice when we do spike it up. So now I'm gonna go ahead and dry the hair, not giving it any style, just drying it. And I'm gonna go ahead and point cut it, because we are gonna give this the top of this cut some texture. So I'm just point cutting in between the hairs. And the shears that I use aren't good, guys. I'm just letting you know I got to invest in some better ones. And now we're gonna use, I've heard this called many names, I'm just gonna say cross-cutting the top, not closing it all the way, just a little, just to, again, to create some more texture. And now I'm going to use the Tune 45 volumizing powder. And what you want to do is sprinkle, not too much, but a generous amount onto the head. And what this is going to do is allow us to style and mold the hair while keeping it, you know, real dry looking, not very wet. It's more of a natural look, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go ahead and just piece that together. And now to start off the fade, this is going to be a mid fade, so I'm going to start at the bottom of the eyebrow. And you'll see with this fade, I do a drastic drop in the back just because I feel like it suits his head a lot better. So I started on the side and then went towards the back and connected it in the middle. So we're going to go ahead and bald that all the way out, letting the clipper do the work, not pressing too hard to where we create irritation. And we're just staying clean, family. We're staying clean, not getting lost in the process. Now we're going to hit it with the shaver just to get it a little bit closer to the skin and add some pop to that blend and add some longevity to the haircut. And now going into our next step, we're going to go with our clipper all the way open, keeping that same shape that we made with our bald line. This is about a ½ inch to a full inch guideline. You want to give yourself some space to blend. And you'll see me in the back make the guideline slightly thicker just because there's a lot more surface area to work with back there. I'm just going over that guideline, making sure it's nice and even. And now to start the process of getting rid of that line, I'm going to go ahead and use the corner of my trimmer and just slightly tap that line just so it's a little bit easier when we come back with our clipper to take that out. So now we're going to go with our clipper closed, and you'll see as I move up in that guideline, I'll start to open up the lever gradually. So I'll go in closed and open it gradually as needed. And after we get through that process, if there's still some touch-up areas that we need to go back to, we will always go back because we want to make sure that we're putting attention to detail in our haircuts, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what's going to make your haircut look like your haircut. It's what's going to separate you from every other barber and give you that Instagram quality. So now going on to the next step, this is going to be our one guard open again, keeping that same shape where we drop it towards the back, and we're going up about a full inch here, making sure that guideline is nice and even. And you'll see I'll stay working on the right side of his head. I'm going to leave the back for last. The left side of the head is already blended. But now to get rid of that line in between the one open and the open, we're going to go with our half guard open. And then you'll see me close the lever gradually as needed to go ahead and lighten that line up a little bit. And you'll see as we move on in our process, the blend will start to come together slowly but surely. And you want to make sure you're using the corner of the blade to get into those dark areas and indentations in the head, just so we can, you know, make sure that blend is looking fluid and consistent throughout the entire head. And you can see the shape of that blend is coming out very nicely. It's suiting his head pretty well. And now this is going to be the biggest guard that we use. It is our 1.5 open. And with this, we're going up just slightly, not really a full inch or ½ an inch, just slightly. We're just going up with our 1.5 open, and then you'll see me close it right under that. And with this technique that I'm going to use today, guys, it's a little bit different from any other of my videos. I'm going to be doing a lot of clipper over comb just to give you guys some other ways to get that nice smooth blend. And that 1.5 wasn't really doing the job in getting that line out, so I'm using my one guard open, and then you'll see me close it gradually as needed. And like I said, the 1.5 was the biggest guard that we used, so we're going to use the clipper over comb method to get rid of that line and blend it to the top. And when doing clipper over comb, you want to make sure you're flaring out the comb slightly when you're blending. And a cool tip that I learned is the clipper open against the clipper comb, this type of comb, is a one guard. And that gave me kind of some direction when using clipper over comb. So I want to make sure I'm flaring out the comb, and any hair sticking out of it, I want to go ahead and get rid with my clipper. And now to soften up that blend into the top, I'm going to use my thinning shears / blending shears, whatever you want to call them. And I'm just going to attack those dark areas and give that blend a much softer look. And you'll see as I go with my thinning shear, it really brings that blend together and makes it look a lot more smooth and much softer. Because when using clipper over comb, it's kind of like very harsh, you know what I'm saying? So you want to give that blend a softer look. But I completed the left and right side of the fade, and I leave the middle for last, right? Because I feel like if we're working throughout the entire head at once, we kind of get lost and unsure if both sides are even. So I went ahead and did the left side and the right side, and now I'm going to go ahead and connect it in the middle. And we're going to follow the same exact process. To get rid of that first line, we're going to go with our clipper closed, and then we'll open it gradually as needed. And you'll see it didn't do the job the first time through, so I went ahead and played with the lever until those lines were completely blended out. So I'm going ahead and doing that, making sure that I'm staying consistent and I'm trusting that process. And moving on, we're gonna go with our one guard open, going up about a full inch because we have some more room to blend in the back than we do on the sides, just because it's a larger area. And I'm making sure I'm flicking out. You can really see that flick out motion at this angle. And to start getting rid of that line, we're gonna go with our half guard open. And if open isn't doing the job, we'll go ahead and close it until that line is as blended as possible. So that's what I'm doing right here. I went in open and it wasn't doing much, so I had closed it slightly and then slightly more, and you'll see that line start to lighten up. And we're just continuing to do the same thing, just working at that line, being patient, not rushing the process to create a problem that we have to go back to. So again, this is just our half guard. Trying to connect it to the left side of his head right now. Opening and closing that lever. And now, since the half guard didn't fully, get rid of that line, we're gonna go with our clipper open, using the corners of the blade to get into those dark spots, especially towards the back of the head. There's a lot of indentations created by the occipital bone. So we're using the corner, opening and closing to lighten up those areas and bring that blend together. Now moving on to the biggest guard that we use, the 1.5 open. We're going up slightly, making sure we're flicking out, trying to blend into the top as best as possible. It's not going to happen, but you want to do it as best as you can, just so when we do come back, it's a lot easier to blend. So this is our 1.5 open. And you'll see as we move up, the blend starts to connect to the right side of the head. And then we're going to go ahead and close that 1.5 and just attack that line slightly. It's not going to get rid of it, but it's just going to lighten it up. And we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Did open, now I closed it. And here you'll see me point out the line that we're going to go ahead and get rid of with our one guard open. So I'm going in open, and then if it's not doing the job, I go ahead and close it. And you always want to start open because you can always take hair off, but you can't put hair back on, you feel me? So we start off longer and close it to make it shorter. So we're going in open here, and then we're closing it gradually as needed. And you'll see, slowly but surely, that this blend is coming together. And the one guard wasn't doing the job. So again, I'm coming back with my clipper all the way open, using the corner of the blade to get into those dark spots that the one couldn't get. And here, this is the one guard closed, and then open. And now we're going to use the clipper over comb method on the back of the head. Again, doing the same thing, going in with the comb and flaring it out slightly. And you'll see as we flare it out and get rid of those hairs, that blend will start to come together very nicely. And right here, I'm holding the comb weird just so I'm not standing in front of the camera, but I'm doing the same thing. I'm going in and flaring the comb out slightly, and any hairs hanging out, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of with my clipper. And again, like I said, a cool tip, that clipper comb with the clipper against it is a 1 guard. It's equivalent to a 1 guard. And that helps when trying to blend out lines. Because remember, we left off with a 1.5, so it blends very nicely. And again, to soften up that blend, we're gonna go with our thinning shears to kind of just give it a softer look, a smoother look. And I'm just attacking those dark areas, and you'll see as I do that, the fade is starting to, come together and look real consistent throughout the entire head. And you'll see me, I went sideways right there just to go against the grain of his hair, since his hair is kind of growing sideways right there. And now I'm gonna give you guys a look of the fade so far. It's coming together pretty nice. We're gonna go ahead and put a line on that, but now we're just gonna blend into the beard. And it's a little bit easier to blend into the beard than it is on the head, so I'm going in closed, and then you'll see me open the lever gradually as we move towards, the length of the beard. We're gonna be conscious not to go below the ear because he doesn't want a very drastic blend into the beard. And now this is our 1 guard, just using the corners of the blade to blend. And that's it. It's pretty simple, family. Now we're gonna go ahead and go to the lineup. And we're not going to do anything crazy. We're just cleaning up his edges to give it a more clean, sharp look. Put a frame to the fade that we just did. And now when lining up the arch area, I always start at the top of the arch, go to the bottom of the arch, and then meet that joint in the middle. And that will give you that nice round C shape in that arch area. Now to add some pop to the haircut, it doesn't need it, but we're going to use some Kiss enhancement just to darken up his hairline a little bit and take it to that next level, make the client feel the best that he can when walking out the shop. And you guys saw that it was crispy even before I sprayed it. And when lining up the back of the beard, you always want to be conscious of not pushing it in too far, because when it starts to grow back, it'll look funny. But we're keeping that line natural. He likes it a little bit higher, a little bit below his jawline as well. He likes that square shape, not rounded. And when lining up the beard, I do the same thing as I do on the arch area. I start at the top, and then I go to the bottom, and I meet it in the middle. And again, that allows me to get that nice round lineup on the beard. Unless the client asks for something else, but he likes that round shape on the beard. So I start at the top, go to the bottom, and meet it in the middle. And with this client, I can do a dry shave. His skin's not too sensitive. But for some clients, you may need to use shave gel. And when the ash line is created the first time through, you always want to wipe it away and reline it just so we can ensure that the client has the crispiest line possible. And you can see that that thing is sharp. We're not going to use any enhancement on the beard. We're going to keep it natural. But my guy came in looking rough, hair everywhere, but we went ahead and got him together with a nice mid fade, the textured spiky top. We cleaned up his beard a little bit, and I think we put my man in the game. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Follow me at Dreclipperhands on IG, where I have a lot more dope content. But yeah, family, thank you guys for tuning in. Catch y'all next time.